Hey everyone, it's been a hectic few weeks. We're just getting back into the swing of things here at My Sixth Sense. We're going back to a weekly pods. We'll be doing an election broadcast. The link will be in the episode description. As you know, Scott just got done dealing with 2 hurricanes. If you want to stick around at the end of the episode, he's going to be talking about what life's like down in Florida for him and many others in Florida. So if you want to take the time and listen, that'd be great. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon. Ian.
He's got legs. That doesn't
Okay.
work.
You could be Forrest Gump, dude.
Guess who I'm going to be? Oh my God, I got to show you this. So for Halloween this year, I'm going to a Halloween party on Saturday. And,
No, you didn't. You're going to be Forrest Gump, dude.
but I also got the shorts. I just felt like running and the socks and this like yellow shirt that he wears.
Dude.
And
yeah.
final piece. I should put this on while we record, honey. I also love this hat because it kind of looks like a MAGA hat, and then you're like, oh wait, no, it's Forrest Gump. I just felt like running. I mean, I have like a wig or a beard mustache wig thing.
You kind of look like him already, though. I can kind of see it.
It works. It checks out.
It does. It does check out. I agree.
And I got this one too, though.
Yeah, you got to get the smiley face.
It's so stupid.
When he wipes, yeah.
Yeah.
I just felt like running. Anyway, yeah, it's a 90s theme party.
That's awesome.
I want to watch that movie, but I get pissed off at fucking Jenny.
Dude, we can talk about that for a moment. Like, she's like, as soon as she's done used up everything, then she's like, I guess I'll let you sleep with me.
Yeah, Jenny sucks, dude.
She is the most evil supervillain in any movie.
Indeed. Yo, are you Blink-182 fan?
Prove me wrong. Yeah, of course.
Do you like Enema of the State?
Yeah, dude. I mean, listen, if you're a 90s baby, yeah, I feel like you should.
So,
some of the best rap, some of the best
album,
rock.
You know the album cover?
Yeah, it's
yes.
got
Janine Lindemalder. So it's the chick in the
she's like sitting there with the blue glove. Yeah.
A certain someone we know is going to be that chick for Halloween.
That's awesome, dude. That's so sick. That's dope.
The 90s theme. And I'm like, you kind of look like her anyway. And she really does. So
yeah, it's
kind of uncanny how much she looks like that chick. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Let me take a look. Let me see. She does. Yeah,
Isn't
the
it
blue
weird?
glove, dude. I remember the blue glove so specifically, yeah.
This hat is kind of tits, actually. I'm going to wear it around. It totally looks like a MAGA hat from far away, too.
Dude, JD Vance is on Theo Von. Did you listen to that at all?
I didn't.
I listened to the
first... Let's get back to politics, Harry.
Yeah, listen to like the first 20 minutes on the ride home, and JD Vance drops the F-bomb like 3 times, and he's like, shit, I should stop. He seriously goes, shit, I got to stop doing that. I'll start losing votes. And Theo goes, listen, if you get to 7, I'll tap you on the shoulder. But like, I thought it was fine. You know, he was talking about football, but like him and Theo does such a good job of like making him feel comfortable, you know, like, like just like Theo's demeanor, it was like you could kind of tell JD Vance didn't really know what to expect. And then within 30 seconds, Theo had JD Vance's guard like completely invisible, and JD Vance like talking about getting, what did he say? He said he went to an Ohio State Michigan game. He's a Ohio guy, and he said he went to Michigan for this game, and someone threw took a chunk of dirt and stuffed it into his mouth because they're crazy sports fans. And Theo Von goes, "Isn't that deforestation or forestation relocation? Like, isn't that illegal?" And JD Vance is like, "Yo, what?" So, but yeah, I thought it was good. And I also, Trump went on Theo Von too.
I heard Trump's going to be on Rogan this Friday.
I think that's true too. And it's such I think that's a great thing too, because Joe Rogan does not care. Like, he'll ask the questions that need to be asked.
Sure.
And I think Trump's.
Did you see the title of the most recent Part of the Problem episode? I saw it right before I got on.
No, I saw there was.
Go ahead and look at it. Look at it right now.
I feel so bad, dude. I've been disconnected. I got so angry listening to those.
Watch his face, Ethan, as he reads the title. Yes.
No.
I told you. I told you.
I'm voting for Trump.
Yeah.
I mean, listen. That's oh god, dude. That's like kind of the realization I came to today, because like in all reality, no one else is going to win. You have to realize there's more options. But the thing is, if you're actually being honest, and you could go toe to toe with anybody who thinks Kamala is better and you'll win indefinitely. I mean, like, for every shitty thing Trump has done, Kamala and her current president have done equally. The thing is, Kamala's never done anything or she has no record to stand on. I learned so much about Joe Biden today that I just didn't, I always hear Dave Smith talk about how much of a sleazebag he is. And I'm like, I'm not really aware. And I mean, I just know that, from COVID, what he did during COVID, right? But this lady went back to when he lost his wife and kid.
You're taking a picture on their bedside, like a sleazeball.
And then you zoom out, and it's just a bunch of reporters and staff members, and there's this Hunter. There's Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
It actually really made me feel so sad for Hunter Biden.
Yes.
And it's like everyone's making him out to be this like awful dude, which, okay.
You and I understand Hunter Biden on a different level than I think most people do. And that's why you and I have talked about this in the past too, like how I've said I refuse to make any moral judgments of Hunter Biden. Like, I will gladly talk about his father and the like peddling of his last name and stuff, but
sure,
I personally can't throw stones at Hunter Biden for anything he's done.
I didn't know anything that he did, and you come to find out that Joe Biden or Jill never paid a dime for Beau's complete college education.
Wow, right?
Hunter paid every dime of it himself.
I mean, granted, he got it by sucking some Ukrainian dude's dick. Again, I'm not.
But it does. The thing is, it doesn't really matter. It's like you're telling me your dad, who's like super rich, couldn't. You know what I'm saying? And Hunter writes about
Joe Biden's a piece of garbage, bro.
Dude, yeah,
he really is. I've known this since I used to listen to this guy named Mark Levin, who I
think you told me about him.
Yeah, he's good friends with Trump, actually, but he's an Israel hawk, so I just can't stand listening to him now.
Yeah.
I kind of stopped listening to him for the same reasons I stopped listening to Ben Shapiro, although I can handle him again now. But yeah, Mark Levin's super Israel hawk. But Mark Levin was Ronald Reagan's chief of staff, if I remember correctly. So he has like a podcast now. But he knew Joe Biden. Like Joe Biden was the guy who was flaming Clarence Thomas and stuff. So this guy was really didn't like Joe Biden. And so when Obama picked him as his vice president, I learned about all this stuff that you're kind of learning about now from the Tucker episode. So, I mean, I've known Joe Biden to be this person for like the last 16 years. And also, it's so funny, Mark Levin he just has all these stupid names for people like Trump does, you know?
Yeah.
And Joe Biden was formerly the dumbest man in the Senate, Biden. But like while he was still senator, it was always Joe, the dumbest man in the Senate, Biden. And
I mean,
it's
dude, dude, I honestly, I wish I can tell you why a lot of Democrats, well, not Democrats, we'll call them leftists because that's really what it is. But I can understand why they don't. Ignorance is bliss. Like after listening to it, and then I'm like talking to some guys at work, like on the phone, and I'm just like, dude, I wish I'd never known that because it makes me feel like, I don't know, dude. Honestly, it made me feel gross. Like, because I've got kids and some of the stuff he just does not care. I just genuinely just does not care about his family, and I don't know, just the way he treated Hunter was getting $83,000 a month from Burisma, and his dad knew that he was addicted to crack, but sent him the money anyway.
Yeah.
So he's an enabler.
Yeah, dude. And not only that, the reason we know this, the only reason we know this is because Hunter wrote about it. Because Hunter, unlike Joe Biden, is apparently a great writer.
Yeah.
This lady surmised that Joe Biden might be illiterate.
Yeah.
really?
Because she said he doesn't write well at all. And she's like, this lady has literally read everything Joe Biden has ever written, has read every biography. I mean, she's just like, there's nothing else for me to read.
And she wasn't saying that he can't read. She was saying that he's just not very well read and like not very intelligent.
Whereas his son Hunter is like a good artist, can write very well, and that's where she got a lot of the insights into like the Biden family is through writings from Hunter. And Hunter was very upset that he had to pay for. He wasn't upset that he had to pay for Bo's college.
He was upset that they were being so disrespectful to him.
Right, because they knew he had a drug problem, and when that's the only reason they got involved. They were like pushing Hunter away from the campaign.
Right.
So
because he was going to make him look bad.
But that's just one of the small things. Like, I had been talking earlier in an episode. I'm really so thankful to be back here talking to you guys. But in an episode prior about how he's the one that created mandatory minimums, which is an undeniable decline for the Black community when it comes to crack.
Sure. And then, dude, Joe Biden's a fucking horrible douche.
And he did. And do you remember who he did it with? I mean, like the biggest segregationist.
Strom Thurmond. Yeah.
And everyone's just like, this guy fights for the black man. It's like, no, he fights against the black man. It's whatever's politically okay. They have to.
Bro, it's the same thing as Kamala Harris.
Right. All they do is check boxes. The lady on Kamala today was saying, like, listen, I've known her basically my whole professional career, and she said her name differently, like she's like 3 different times, and it's all whatever room she's in, she's checking the boxes.
They call that code switching, by the way.
Is it really? What is that?
Exactly what it is. It's where you present yourself as a alternate version of yourself, depending on who you're around, to achieve an outcome. So I can tell you that in my younger days, people would try to make me choose a side as to what I would act like.
Okay. Oh, sure.
And I never understood that because I was just myself.
Right.
And the one thing that I can take pride in is like, basically my entire life I knew who I was and I was okay with it. So I never tried to cater to a certain set of people based on where I was at. But it would be like, let's say Scott is Scottavius and you're Duran. I would be talking like super duper niggerish right now. But because you're Scott and Darren,
right,
I'm talking like a normal human that speaks English.
Right.
Which has always been me.
Right.
But back to the original point, like tap dancing for whatever person you're in front of, that's code switch.
Huh. Yeah, and that was like one of her points. Is like we don't really know. She's like, okay, what her example was so great. She was like, listen, you know Bernie Sanders, and Tucker's like, yeah. She's like, yeah, so he's a full-fledged Marxist, but the thing is that he's not changed. He has been saying the same thing for 55 years or however long he's been hunched over his desk. You know what I mean? He's like, so you know what you get. You know you're never going to be able to get him into drilling or get him into doing something because he's always going to be that way. And she said, you know, with Kamala, it's like she just whatever gets her the next step. It's like whatever box she has to check to get there, and she doesn't necessarily ever earn. I mean, she went back to when she was 29, and she acts like she grew up in some middle class, crazy, poor family, like in the hood. It's like she did not.
Bitch, you were in Canada. The fuck?
Montreal. Yeah, I mean, like that's what I'm saying. And she didn't register to vote till she was 30 something.
29.
29, and that's when she got into That's when they got into politics.
Wait, time out. No. We're gonna stay here for a second. So you mean to tell me that this person is leaps and bounds going out of her way to endorse the civic process and duty that I have as an American citizen and taxpayer?
Sure.
To potentially go
29.
vote for her.
Yeah.
But she waited a whole ass 11 years to do that when she was made to sign up for selective service, which makes you register to vote. Get the fuck out of here, man.
She didn't sign up for selective service.
How do you
women don't sign up.
Oh.
She's a whammon.
Yeah, she's one of them whammons. They don't fat wallers no more. No, I'm just kidding. That's a complete joke.
If you want equality, she better go eat a mortar shell and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean, from the beginning to the end of that episode, also Tucker really doesn't talk too much. Of course, he throws in a little bit here and there, but she's just talking when she's not being accurate or factual. She says, "I don't know, but this is what I would assume." But the rest of the entire episode is just like, "This is what happened. I was here for this. I saw this with my own eyes." And it's like, it paints this picture of Kamala where it's like she's earned nothing her entire career. She has flip-flopped on every single issue she has. When she was a prosecutor, she said she's tough on crime. She only tried 8 cases she was at the DA's office for 3 years, 4 years. She tried 8 cases. Tough on crime. She didn't work the entire time there. She worked 3 8-hour days as logged.
Yeah. And then the rest was admin time.
Which
means
time.
Nothing.
And then she had two cushy consulting jobs where she was getting paid $10,000 to be a political consultant, which she should have filed a thing with the state saying she's being paid by the campaign, but she didn't. And that's a misdemeanor she should have gotten charged with, but she didn't know and wiggled her way out of that one. You know, there's like 4 or 5 different things. Or when she was running for attorney general, there was a campaign finance issue. She signed and
she overspent.
She overspent. So you sign this thing. It goes out to all the voters in the entire state, and it says this campaign has said that they will stick to the $230,000 maximum on spending on their campaign. Well, she was so unpopular that she realized she had to like spend a whole bunch, and she made that pledge under, what was it? I mean, perjury. She could commit perjury if she went over 230,000. She spent something like 640 at the end of the whole thing.
And they noped that off too, right?
Absolutely, because of her connections.
Yeah, because of Willie Brown.
She was good. Yeah, that's right.
So she's committed all sorts of literal crimes.
Literal crimes. Her husband, who just goes around and to honest guy, like I've watched this man talk about the misogynistic men in this country and all these things, slaps women. Like he's got a case coming against him because he slapped this woman so hard at the Cannes Film Festival. She spun around and fell down.
Like he slapped her in the face?
Yeah. Slapped her straight in the face, yeah.
For what?
She cut in line.
So
she cut in line to get her car. Well, dude, he's a male feminist, so you're allowed to slap women, I guess. I don't know.
What about the
I mean,
instance
women
where
can play men's sports, so that kind of checks out, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, right?
men can have periods? What about the did you see the Al Smith dinner
Yes.
where Trump was like, I used to think that men couldn't have periods, but then I met Tim Walz or something like that.
Dude, and you know what's so funny? You know who's sitting right there?
Chuck
The guy who
Schumer.
keeps calling him Hitler.
Yeah,
So it's
he's
all
like,
just a show, and
it
like,
is.
and that's what I'm saying is, if I didn't know all of this, like this political show that we have and this dialogue that we go back and forth on all the time,
Yeah,
it's just like right wing opinions, and some of it is like, hey, listen, we know this. Like, I know a whole ton about Ukraine, you know, all this other stuff, but it's like hearing that. It's like, dude, there is no way anybody who has ears could be like, this is a better choice. And listen, you don't have to vote for Trump. Fine. But it just cannot be Kamala.
well, sure. That's how a
I
bunch
tried-
of liberals I know are. That's what they're doing. Sorry, Ethan, what you're saying?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I tried to go early vote today,
I did yesterday.
and
Did you get caught for being voting while black?
No, the
Damn
line
it.
was out the fucking door.
Really?
Yeah, and I was just like,
There was no line down here in Florida. It took me like 10 minutes.
Voted for Harris, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
Oh no,
I
No,
did. I did vote to.
I like
I
your
did
hat.
vote to legalize abortion. Though.
Yeah.
That's how right wing I am. I voted to codify legal abortion in Florida and legalize marijuana.
And that honestly should be on the ticket everywhere, right? Let the people decide.
I agree.
I mean, right? Like,
I
listen, we
voted
have
for
our
Trump and I voted to legalize abortion on the same
Well,
ballot.
you know what's so interesting is I was picking up my daughter from a birthday party on Sunday, and as I'm pulling up to the house, I get a phone call from a Wake Forest, like 704 number. Like, I don't have this phone number here. I mean, this is a North Carolina number. I pick it up, and it's a volunteer from the Harris campaign calling me to ask me if I'm voting. And we talked for like 10 minutes, and it was like super cordial, super cool, you know. And she was just like, "What makes you not sure?" And I'm like, "Well, Trump printed $7 trillion and Biden is corrupt. And I don't think I should give a promotion to a lady that, you know, hasn't really earned anything her whole life." And she's like, "Yeah, but," she didn't say, "Yeah, but." Her rhetoric was, "I just believe Trump to be dangerous." And I said, "Okay, well, how is he dangerous? He's already been president. I just don't understand." And she couldn't really answer it. And by the end of it, I was like, "Hey, man, I do not envy your job." I said, "How many times do you get screamed at a day?" She's like, "A bazillion." And I'm like, "I bet." And she's like, "And it's volunteer, dude." And I'm like, "Yeah, I feel bad for you. Listen, I hope more people are like me and just like cool to talk to."
If I get that call, all I'm going to do is try to waste their time so that they can't call other people. I'm just going to pretend like I care.
I'm so interested in hearing retorts to questions that are asked on like TV, right? Like, you know, just like, what do you mean he's dangerous? Oh, well, he's going to ban abortion. Oh, okay. When did, that was one thing she said. It's like, when did he say that?
Explain yourself.
Right. It's like, and you don't have to be rude. You just be like, "Hey, so when did he say that?" She's like, "Well,
I'm guided Socratic.
Yeah. She's like, "Oh, well, in 2016." I'm like, "Okay, 2016 he said it, but did he do it? And how about, has he said that now? Like, I don't understand where this is, you know."
I'll go back to old reliable on this one.
Old reliable.
Yeah. It paints the picture and explains everything. Like, Democrats have been supposed to take my guns from me.
It's a good point.
The one's still over there.
Yeah. My parents are still collecting Social Security.
Right.
Medicaid, Medicare's still there. It's all these things that they say to scare people and divide people that they just don't want to have a conversation on, because they have to keep these little things in motion so that they can keep their job. Because if we all got together and realized they don't do shit.
Well, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with abortion, because as I said in a previous episode, they had a filibuster-proof supermajority Like even they could override the filibuster. That's how much of a supermajority the Democrats had. And they did not codify abortion because they knew if they did that, they'd never win another election. Ever.
They're also perpetual losers.
Who, the Democrats?
So are the
Yes.
Republicans as of late.
They're both, yeah, Republicans I feel like are there to lose.
Yeah, because they just don't
They-
do any. It's like they're
What
not
they do
ruthless.
is they get
go
all
ahead.
the
Sorry.
anti-government people into one box, and they get them to vote for them, and then they don't do anything about it. That's
right,
the
right.
point.
And so that's just what I'm saying too. Is like Kamala is checking these boxes, right? And once the boxes are checked and she's got to where she wants to be, then just like every year with every politician, it's it's out the window. And the lady was honest. Like it was like, do you think Trump's going to be able to get rid of the rot in 4 years? And she's like, no, I don't think so. And she's like, honestly, I think something might happen. Like they're going to take the economy out from underneath us, or another terrorist attack's going to happen. Or he's like, he can get 3 or 4 layers of these people, but the deep state and all this stuff is so entrenched that, and it's like, I'm driving home and all I'm thinking is like, we've moved into this weird category where like we're now considered Republicans, but then I don't think I'm a Republican. I think that I'm more center than that. I don't think I'm on a side because the Republicans have now gone left.
I was going to anti-Iraq war protests as a teenager, and now I'm
Right.
voting for Donald Trump.
Right.
You
And
know,
that's another
Republicans back then were George W. Bush and shit.
Well,
But,
now what
anyway.
I'm saying too is now every right-wing neocon is joining the left saying Trump's bad, and it's like no one thinks that that's strange. No one who's a Democrat is like, well, not no one, but like even hardcore leftists, like that's weird. Like years ago, I mean, not even a joke. Dick Cheney was the Antichrist. Mike
Sure.
Pence
I mean, he
was
still
the
is.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not Senator Palpatine. He's the Emperor at this point.
Right.
Mike Pence was the Antichrist who was coming for your uterus. And now it's like, well, Mike Pence is supporting Harris. It's like,
Or
what?
even Liz Cheney. Even Liz Cheney, they like fucking
Yeah, thanks for crossing the aisle, Liz. Like, dude, what are you
fuck
talking
you.
about?
Yeah, what a
All
douche.
she wants to do is bomb countries and get her money. Like, that's it.
And
it's
she
like,
wants to be invited to the dinner parties.
Right. You need to watch the fact that all these people that all they care about is making money, and they've been here, all the
Did
actual
Mike Pence really endorse Kamala?
not endorse. Well, did he? I think he might have, but he definitely was like, Trump is not the answer.
Oh no, he 1,000% endorsed her. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Like
Mike Pence did.
Yeah.
Man, they should have really brought out the guillotine on January 6th, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, Walls tried it, but like, if you look at anyone who has redeeming value from J6, it's Pence, because he came out and condemned Trump optically.
Well, that's what they, that's why the liberals like him.
But I don't know. It's
because MSNBC, which you can trust in this one because you know what they've got for Harris. The clip that showed him endorsing was cut. Mike Pence endorsed Kamala Harris for president. No, clip is the contrary edited clip on social media. So no, I don't think he has. But he has definitely come out against. That's the thing. He's come out against Trump. So it's like you need to make sure you're watching all the neocons who are responsible for the downfall of multiple countries, the bombing of countries, sending our kids off to war, our economy that could care less about because they're not getting rich enough. And what side are they on? Because you need to go the other way, or, well, anyway, just not that way.
Well,
and
like,
so
it's not a weird coincidence that 2 1/3 averted assassination attempt on Trump has happened, and all these people are jumping ship against him.
He said today. Sorry, go ahead. Finish.
Like, because a week ago they foiled another plot/attempt to try to get him. Like,
yeah,
I don't. They're like I've said this 1,000 times on here. 1 time is a coincidence, 2 times is weird, and 3 times is a trend.
Yeah. It's so funny today on that.
That's not an accident.
Theo Von is talking to JD Vance, and he said, he's like, "How do you guys do it? Do you guys do you talk to Trump every day about like what you guys are gonna do? Are you like war gaming it?" And JD Vance is like, "No, it's more like our staff kind of takes care of it." And he's like kind of going through like what a day looks like, and he's like, "But sometimes like we come together like in Butler, after the assassination attempt." Or he goes, after the assassination attempt, we got together, and he goes, which one? JD Vance is like laughing, like, yeah, I guess you're right. He's like, was it the first, third, fourth, or third, or second? Which one is it? He's like, don't you get scared standing next to them? And anyway, yeah,
that's good that they're doing those podcast rounds.
Yes, dude. Yes. And the thing is they just cannot have Kamala get on. Kamala just cannot go on those. After that Fox News interview, that was bad, dude.
The difference here is that Vance and Trump are going on all the rounds, and Kamala is going on controlled rounds. Like even tonight. Tonight wasn't a debate. It was a staged, prescribed, and planned town hall.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, but I guarantee you that no one in that crowd that moderated it or led it asked her a difficult question that would make her look inept or bad.
I mean, even SNL's getting on her. SNL's like, he's like Keenan from Keenan and Kel. Keenan's like, he's playing Alex Trebek. They're on Family Feud, and he's like,
Steve Harvey.
Yes, he's Steve Harvey, and he's like, tell me something you keep in your glove box. And she's like, bing, and she hits the button. And he's like, Kamala Harris. And she goes, now, Steve, I was raised in a middle-class family. And Steve Harvey goes, oh, Jesus Christ, here we go. He's like, something you keep in the glove box. But I absolutely agree. I totally agree. I think they realized what it is. I mean, I don't like Fox News very much. There are a few shows that I can stand watching, but if you just watch that interview as an independent person,
it was pretty disastrous. Okay.
Yeah,
I take from both sides and kind of figure out where I'm going to land, but like, and I was talking to my wife about this earlier today, like, and not my wife, but one of my best friends is a lawyer, and we were talking about the election and the buildup. And I said, I told him, like, I'm going to go try to vote today, blah, blah, blah. And I'm not working on election day because I like to sit and just watch it unfold. I enjoy the process, but I'm to the point to where I love it because we're almost to like the rising action is upon us, right?
Sure.
But I'm also tired of it because these political ads are just like to the point to where like these niggas are just lying about shit.
Yeah, dude.
They're like Donald Trump punched a baby in the fucking face. I'm Kamala Harris. I approve this message. It's like, no, he didn't.
Yeah, dude. I got back in the yard today, and I'm parking the truck, and I get out of the truck, and the guy that's he's rearranging them. I won't name him, but he gets on my truck, and I'm giving my keys. I'm getting all my stuff together, and as he's driving off, he's like, "Hey, I heard if you vote for Trump, you get $1,000 and a free bump of cocaine." And I'm like, "Well, dude, who's got two thumbs and likes that right here? This guy. I'm voting for Trump. Then I guess that means,
Where's the cocaine come from?
Yeah,
That's
right. Yeah, I don't know, but I agree, dude. I see these wild. We just got 2 big cards from the Harris campaign about like he's just dangerous, and it's like, please be specific.
Personally, I'm kind of like, that sounds kind of cool. Look,
yeah, dude.
I like dangerous. Dude. Danger's my middle name.
Like, are we talking about like Kenny Loggins' Highway to the Danger Zone? Like, is that
allow myself to introduce myself.
Like it, but that's great. Number one, but to the point. Like, I'm sitting here watching these political ads. My wife's like, is that true? I'm like, absolutely fucking not. Like, I'm just like, you guys aren't even trying anymore. And Like I love my
That's
mom, but
good.
she's like, he's gonna.
Yeah.
I'm like, relax. For once, like, calm down. Like, you didn't even
Yeah.
say words, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like, and the thing
Donald
I told him,
Trump said that
Fill in the
he's
blank.
going to kill
right?
the enemies within. He said their
Like,
enemies and they're within.
and the thing that the conclusion we came to was like, you have a good part of people that think they're informed enough to make a decision on who they're going to vote for. The dangerous part is the people that have no idea they're going to catch the one thing that
Yeah.
pulls a string, and they're going to neglect everything else about a platform, but just be stuck on that one thing and go, I'm voting for that, or I'm not voting for that.
Right. Well,
And
some
that's the
people
dangerous
are
part.
single issue voters, but I mean, the thing is like, what issue are you on? Like, it's abortion. That was their big push. But then Trump comes out. It's like, I'm not banning abortion, but they're still shooting their, shooting their shot. And they're like, he's going to
He's
end
down
abortion.
He literally
It's like-
said, I'm leaving it up to the states.
Yeah. And he
we-
said multiple times, he's like, there will be no abortion ban. You know, and the next thing was he's going to deport all the people. He's anti-immigration. It's like, no. It's like you see these videos from like independent journalists that sit at airports at 3:00 in the morning and they're literally flying planefuls of people. I mean, there's like, listen, he's eating the dogs, he's eating the cats, right? As ridiculous as that is, I did listen to that point where it brought light to a place that no one wants to see, which is Springfield, which these immigrants are outnumbering citizens.
This
There's
is
a
how
Best Buy
Trump
there,
won in
by the way.
2016.
There's
What's
a
that?
Best Buy in Springfield. There's a Best Buy in Springfield, by the way.
Is there?
Nice.
Is there?
It's very small, but it's there.
This is how Trump won in 2016. Is he said outrageous things and the media covered it and people were like, "Huh." This is literally how I kind
You
of
told me
became a
this.
Trump
They Googled it, right?
fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
They Google. This is what I was saying that night, even I believe during the debate conversation we had was like,
Mm-hmm.
it's absurd, but people are going to look into this, and it's not. Remember me saying this is not going to have the effect that they think it's going to. And
Dude, I
look at
remember
where
where
we're
I
at now.
was when you said that. I remember I remember dropping a package and I remember it was a wooden fence. I remember where I was when you were like, he said the insane stuff and you just Googled it and you Google it and you find out, oh, okay, it's true.
And for me, it was the very fine people hoax, where I was like, wait, Donald Trump really said that neo-Nazis were very fine people? And what that did was make me go and look at, because I thought it would be a thing that made me not like the guy. Because I definitely wouldn't like someone that said that shit, you know?
Right.
And I went and I listened to the full speech to like verify it myself, and I was like, oh, what else are they lying about? And then down the rabbit hole I went. I'm like, I can't really find anything that really makes me dislike this guy in the way I've been told to. I mean, obviously I dislike him for a bunch of stuff that you dislike anyone for, but
Right.
he didn't say Nazis are very fine people.
No, he didn't.
And that's that. If he did, I'd be like the biggest anti-Trump person in the world. But
And that's another issue too, is they keep bringing up stuff that's happened in the past, but it's like it's interesting.
you see
to
the
me
bullshit about the fucking girl that the chick that was beaten to death, and they were saying, you continue. I'm sorry.
No, I want to hear. No, you're fine. No,
There was the newest, like the article came out today, I think, or yesterday, and it's from the Atlantic, and they were basically saying that Donald Trump, there was a army officer private that was beaten to death at Fort something, and all these people lost their jobs and stuff, and I don't know if you remember, it was like 2 years ago, but the family basically was in touch with Donald Trump, and he said he would pay for the funeral or whatever. And this article came out basically saying that when he got the bill, there were people around him that said that he was like, oh, what, $60,000 to bury a Mexican? That's not right, or like just saying
Sure.
bullshit. And this chick's family came out on Twitter and was like, no, Donald Trump was great and showed my sister respect, and I just got done voting for him like 20 minutes ago. This was like the sister of the person, yeah.
No
And then
way.
someone else was like, how dare you use my family or my sister for political ends? Donald Trump was like, great to our family and very respectable, and we love him. And this is the chick's family, like, refuting the claims and stuff. Just
Right.
saying, like,
And
I went and voted for the guy.
and just like you were saying, dude, it's like it's a quick Google, right? So it's like they're like, "Oh, I'll never be over January 6th." It's like, why don't we look into that? Like,
Yeah.
was it started by the FBI? Like, no one's looking in, just like Vivek said when he first started running. Or like they're like the very fine people. That was the first thing Joe Biden brought up in the was it the debate?
Yes.
The very fine. It's like, dude, are we seriously going back to that? Are people really under the impression that he likes Nazis? Like, I don't under.
They are.
They.
Well, they
That's
are.
right. Well, that lady made a very good
100%
point.
they are.
Yeah, she made a very good point that if you're only getting your news from that absolutely controlled media and you're not listening to people like, to be honest with you, like Tucker, right? There's a lot of things he says, and I'm like, eh.
Same.
But
especially
like,
in his most recent episode. But sorry.
I didn't listen to it. Yeah, I was absolutely blown away by it. He really, in these two that I just listened to, he literally just shuts up and lets them talk.
Yes.
And when they do that, when he stops talking, it's like you can't say Tucker's really one side. Or we know his side. But when he lets the other person speak, and these two women that spoke about Biden and Harris, it was like, how can you refute any of that? But these people are listening to MSNBC, CNN. What was the guy from Kentucky that she was talking about? The guy who went on CNN and started telling them like what real life is, and the lady's like, "It's some senator or congressman from Kentucky," and it wasn't who we think. And he went on. He was on a panel. They keep bringing him back to the CNN panel, and he keeps being like, you guys don't really believe this, do you? Like, and it keeps like, this is not real life. This is not what it is. This is what it is. And she's like, and if you watch all the hosts' face, they're just like, it's like they're like robots that have been like short circuited because they're just like, I don't understand.
It reminds me again of my friend.
Is it Damon Thayer?
Oh yes, I think it could. That name sounds. Sorry, Scott. Yeah, it sounds very familiar.
I was just saying, it reminds me of my friend who has now blocked me.
Oh yes.
Who was saying that, I don't know exactly. He was implying I was racist because I was calling Kamala Harris Kamala instead of Kamala Harris, whatever. But the argument was over whether or not the media is captured, and they're basically functioning as a state apparatus. And they're like, well, no, Donald Trump said mean things about the media, so therefore they're full open season on completely propagandizing the American public. And I'm kind of like, well, it's like, it makes me think like, okay, so are you saying like police officers should ask you, or like EMTs or something before they save your life should be like, okay, have you ever said any mean stuff about EMTs? Like, have you ever said that maybe we shouldn't be paying as much taxes as we are? I just want to make sure that, that you're politically aligned with the right people before I save your life right now. It's like, who gives a shit? You're the media. That's your fucking job. Who cares if the guy's mean to you? You fucking idiot.
That used to be their job.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like, how can you look at this and think anything other than the media is 100% trying to propagandize you to a political opinion? Like, it's so obvious. And why are you okay with that happening? And then it makes me remember that like a large portion of the United States public has been deeply propagandized for decades. I mean, like literal decades. They turn the TV on, it tells them what to think, and they never question anything. And it's insane. Insane.
I totally agree. You want to close at that?
Sure.
Do we want to give our closing thoughts?
Yeah, Ethan, you go first, bro.
We're in for a weird 2 weeks. I'm waiting for the ramp up and the final push. I am ready for someone to tell me that Trump killed the Lindbergh baby. And I'm ready for someone to tell me that Kamala Harris ended slavery.
Yes. Well, I heard. I feel like that could be true, dude.
And
I'd hate for it not to be true.
I'm gonna attempt to go vote tomorrow again. Like,
Good for you.
I wasn't gonna stand in line like that. And the thing is, I don't want to. I'm going to vote, and if it doesn't work out to where I can't do it early, I will do it on election day. But I don't want to do it on election day because where I vote is 99% red and 95% white. So I'm just like standing there, and someone's like, "Who you vote for?" I'm like, "Leave me alone." Like, I'm just
we have a very
Your mom.
just hanging
Vote
out.
for your mom.
dude. Yeah, ring your mom. What's your mom's name? And write her in.
And they try to put you in this weird trick box of talking about politics, and they assume one thing, and if I indulge the conversation, it's not going to be what they expect. But at the same time, like, I'm just trying to do this shit and leave me alone. Like, I'm good.
Right.
Like
listen,
I'm on my phone with my head down with a hood on and a hat. Like, leave me the fuck alone. But
yeah, is your voting place at a church or like a school?
Yes, it is. It's
ours is this really small. Yeah, it's like impossible for them to. It's not a big place, so it's virtually impossible because they can't talk to you about that campaign stuff like within 100 feet. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's like
feet.
It's so tiny that the parking lot is not even 100 feet from the building.
Outside,
yeah,
it's fair game, right?
Yeah.
I just like my final thing is like, whoever sees this, all 19 people that'll watch this, like, go vote your conscience. At least do it, right?
Right.
Because we're all gonna, like, the next time we convene, let's say it's not before the election, we're gonna know a segment of people that watch this, and it'll be these fucking guys, and it's like, bitch, you didn't vote, fuck you. Like,
right.
The price of admission is that.
Right.
So.
And you can listen if you don't feel comfortable. Anyway, Scott, go ahead. I got my piece to say, so go ahead.
First off, I've been a purple area, and I'm in a more blue than purple area typically. So I walked in with my America shorts on, and clearly, like, it made everyone was just so uncomfortable because I'm like, yeah, I like America, hell yeah. I think my closing thoughts here are. What's the worst that could happen? I mean, barring like some actually scary stuff occurring, like some kind of terrorist attack or Black Flag event kind of deal, or insane escalation with Ukraine and Russia or some sort of Israel shit. What's the worst that could happen? They can say whatever they want about Donald Trump. It's already baked into the cake. No one gives a fuck. You could say. He like unless they come out and they're like some weird horrible shit, some Diddy shit or something. What's the worst they could say about Donald Trump that even functions nearly as an October surprise? No one gives a fuck. Yeah.
Right.
I think any media coverage only hurts Kamala Harris at this point. Because every time she actually shows her face, her poll numbers go down. So yeah, I'll be honest, I still think she may win. I really do. I just can't count out the people who have no idea like why they're going there, and they really do think that they're gonna get free stuff, or like you said, she ended slavery or some shit like that. Like they really believe this totally retarded nonsense. About her and her ability and her intentions. And yeah, I'm not convinced that it's a Trump win. I'm also not convinced that afterwards there's some crazy shit that goes down. And I don't know. I'm more worried about that than I am beforehand. At this point, both sides, they think this shit's rigged. They think that they are disaffected, and one side really wants to tell the other side what to do, and one side really wants to be left the fuck alone. And it's just a bad combination of things. I think we're in like the last part of Road to Serfdom right now, and it could go really badly, really badly. So that's my ending thoughts. Next time we talk, if it's after the election,
Hopefully,
it's
it
just gonna be
shouldn't be.
wild, dude. It's
I
gonna be
don't
wild.
work on.
We
I
should
don't.
do
I don't.
an
I
election.
don't work on election day. So
Yeah,
Let's
on
let's
election.
talk on election night. Why not?
What I'm saying is, obviously, we should do one before then. But yeah, we
Oh,
should definitely do an election eve,
yeah,
and then an election like the day that it's called.
I agree.
sure.
I mean, I hope it's
maybe me
called.
like in my with my bug out gear, like in the truck,
Like,
like
I'm going to Canada.
I'm headed to Key West, man.
Yeah, who's coming with me, man?
Who's coming with me? Or it's like me on the boat, like just like
They're like some crazy guy with a boat that was on the is now headed slowly but surely down to Key West. No,
He's
can
going
I
down
ask
there
you
at
a
3
question real
knots.
quick? Yeah, can I ask you a question? Why is it that if you show up to a polling place in an American flag shorts, you are considered a Republican?
I know, it's weird, right?
Like if you wear an American flag shirt or an American flag hat and you walk into a polling place, 9 times out of 10, they're like, oh, he's voting for Trump. It's like, why is...
Well, I can answer that question for you.
Okay.
Because 99% of the extreme right only wear that shit.
I guess so. I just don't think the American flag should be a symbol of like one side.
Yeah, I guess
Well,
the point is they're just not going to wear shorts
Yeah.
with it on there.
They're going to wear clean pressed slacks. Listen, I guess my final thought would be
Actually, hell yeah, America.
America. He's like, I can tell you,
American.
I can tell you why that is.
Fight for the right of every man.
So, yeah, I would say you really just do a little bit of research before you go vote. But like you said, vote with your conscience. I think we're in a lot of trouble, and I think either way, I don't know how it's going to turn out. I think that I can't imagine that either side isn't going to cheat or try to win in some way. I don't know how that's going
Go vote
to
your
work.
conscience as long as it's Donald Trump.
Right. It just cannot. Honestly, it
I'm
cannot.
playing.
It just cannot be. I mean, right. Okay, I agree with that, but it just cannot be Kamala, dude. It just cannot be Kamala, like, just based upon her.
I'll drive
Her
any of y'all
record.
motherfuckers as long as you're voting for Trump, okay? You just gotta. That's it.
I'm voting for Rodan and Mothra.
Nice.
Well,
Sorry,
anyway.
I interrupted Darren's final
No,
thought.
dude, that's it.
Darren,
That was
give me the
that was
final
it.
thought.
No, that was it, man.
Oh, damn it. Any other final thoughts, bro? Some PS thoughts?
He just looks like he's stoned. He's like, go listen to those Tucker episodes. That's what I would do. Change my life.
Listen to the fucking Part of the Problem episode too. I'm like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
That title is pretty. All right, Tucker episode. All right, bro.
All right, hold on. I'm just gonna stop this
All
we
right.
talk.
My head is Florida. No, it's cool. Remember that point. But just so I can explain this to Ethan. My head is Florida, okay? The Atlantic Ocean's over here. Gulf of Mexico's over here. In the northern hemisphere, because the Earth is a globe, and it's not flat, because the Earth's a globe, the wind as the equator goes like this way, okay? The wind is higher up. The wind is like higher up on this part than it is at the poles. So the wind is kind of falling downward towards the pole. And as the wind spins this, or the earth spins this way, it pulls the higher air up as it falls down. And that's what creates that counterclockwise rotation, right? So
Ooh, hurricanes.
that's like the easiest way to explain it. So
Yeah, we create
because
them.
it's because it's spinning counterclockwise, when it hit Tampa, so Tampa's over here, in the shape of Pinellas County, it's like another like tiny Florida within Florida, basically. It's like another little peninsula.
Yeah.
As Hurricane Helene went up the coast, those feeder bands like pulled the water right into Tampa Bay. So
Oh shoot, yeah.
that raised the water up by like 8 feet on top of the 2 feet you get from high tide. So it was like 10 feet high in some areas and stuff. And that type of crap has not happened in Tampa in a really long time, like more than 100 years. So it is kind of like a known risk. Hurricane season, obviously, like we all have hurricane boxes and prepper gear and shit. I'm all prepared for that, but I'm not prepared for 10 feet of fucking water rolling through. Um,
I don't know who
and you got all
is.
these houses on the fucking coast and whatnot. So that
Yeah, I
shit
don't know
doesn't
how
happen
anybody
every
could
10
be.
years. No, right. It's like a
Like,
tsunami hitting the area,
Yeah,
literally.
like 2 times.
So, and then Hurricane Milton, thank God, right? Like again, my eyeball is Tampa. It was supposed to go directly over, and that would happen again, where that rotation would pull the water up into Tampa Bay. But at the very last minute, it kind of went. It was like whoop, and went down. So we
hit that
got,
lefty real quick.
yeah, the water got pushed up below us, and it was getting pulled out of the harbor this time. So like the rotation of the hurricane was pulling the water this way, but it was still like 100-mile-an-hour plus consistent winds. Like just imagine like driving your car at 100 miles an hour for like 7 or 8 hours straight, and that's how fast the wind was going as it came in. It's just insane. But yeah.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
flooding is
How are you
what
guys
fucked my
doing
place
now?
up.
Yeah,
Well, I'm still in the hotel.
yeah. Okay.
Dad's in the hospital right now because he got some kind of virus or bacteria or something from the
Oh gosh.
floodwater. So he's been real sick for like a week and a half, and you know how he is. And this morning, I was fine. I took him like 3 days ago, and they did all their stuff and hydrated him. I don't want to give away too much info, but he's been doing something that dehydrates you, like peeing out of your ass, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And after,
that'll do
he's
it.
old. He's old and has Parkinson's and is not healthy. And 8 days of that, well, so 3 days ago, I'm like, okay, it's been 4 days. I know you don't want to go to the hospital. We're doing it. I'm sorry. Like I'm literally your caretaker and make sure you don't die.
What
So
did
we
he say to
went.
that?
Well, I made him go, and he wasn't
Yeah,
happy. But
right.
they put an IV in him, and they're like, we solved the dehydration, and he he's good to go home. And I'm like, you sure? Like, you sure? And they're like, yeah, it's cool. I'm like, okay, so he's not dehydrated anymore, but he's still shitting his brains out. What is wrong with people? So they send him home, and if the what people in the white coats say things, I'm just a lowly dog trainer, and I pick up shit for a living. So what do I know? And I'm like, hey, maybe we shouldn't send the old dude home who's been shitting for like a week straight. So this morning, he's basically on like death's door, and I'm like, we're going back, dude. I'm sorry. So this time they admitted him into the hospital, and they've
Giving
been
him
pumping him up
fluids.
with morphine and IVs and all that fun shit. So, but yeah,
Dude, that's
he's not
kind of
doing great.
scary.
It is. It is, and I was out, repairing people's houses or tearing the drywall out and carrying their sofas and shit filled with mold and poop water and all sorts of shit. And I've been
Yeah.
like really careful about cleaning myself and everything, but we've been in a hotel room together for like a month now. So, and the other thing is there was this like case of water bottles that went through the flood, but I've been cleaning off the bottles before giving them to him, and he like I was like, don't drink these bottles of water without cleaning them. And I came home one day and he was drinking them, and I was like, dude, like you are 75 and not 37. And so yeah, he drank one of the water bottles that went through the like flood water. And again, you or I or Ethan, we're probably all right if we do that, but that's not good when you're old as fuck.
No, and much
So
susceptible to that stuff.
that's where I'm at. I'm still, I don't, that's where I'm at. I've been
What's
working
the
a little bit again, but
what's the next
yeah.
step?
Well, they finished going through all of the outlets and stuff on the house today. So I think that they'll have the drywall and everything back in like a week. So maybe a week or two before we're back in, and probably put Dad through rehab again and pump him up with fluids and get him back to some level of normal. And yeah, but that's, and then
Do they think
slowly
it's just
start replacing shit.
some type of infection, or what do they think?
Oh yeah, he's got, yeah, yeah. He's got some kind of stomach thing, but it's not Sidith or something, Sitha or some
Yeah.
Sidhi or some shit like that.
What's that always makes me think of A Million Ways to Die in the West.
Yeah.
When he farts and he says something, he's like, oh, he's got the farts.
Yeah, if it's a viral infection, you gotta let that ride. They can't give you anything to get rid of a
Yeah,
viral infection.
right,
You just
right.
gotta let
They're
that
just
shit
gonna
ride out.
give you fluids and, like you said, morphine or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, deal with the pain. But yeah. Yeah, it's been fun.
Does your insurance cover any of the shit you lost?
Some of it, but
Okay.
my laptop is unfortunately I don't think covered. Yeah, I'm gonna try something that I can't really talk about on here just in case, but
Okay.
a lot of the stuff like I had a bunch of marketing materials and flyers and shit, which they should be here. I got all those remade because people like Ethan donated and helped me out. So I got all my gear I need for poop scooping again. So I'm gonna get back on that horse. And like I've been doing a bunch of free work. I've done like a ton of free work. I've gone in just random people's yards on the face of the golf court in the Deer
Sure.
Beach group. I wake up in the morning and I go, hey, who needs their yard cleaned up? And then the first person that answers, I go and clean their yard up for
That's
them.
awesome, dude. That's awesome.
I've been doing that for a month now. I mean, I obviously take some days off too.
You should, as you should.
But like 5 days a week, that's what I've been doing. So I helped out all sorts of people. I've met all sorts of people that are all trying to help me out now, and when
That's
things get back
awesome,
to
bro.
normal. But yeah.
Well, I
Next
hope
steps are
you're.
just getting back in. Sorry.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. I'm hoping that they get your place fixed up soon. Then I hope that insurance company really comes through.
I know they'll cover dad stuff, which matters most to me. People
Right.
people kind of help me out. So the stuff that I needed to work again, I got replaced, which was the big component for me. Because now I can make money.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, as long as they get Dad's bed and his furniture, they can just sit there and watch TV all day or whatever.
Right. So
I'm good.
So you can at least get out and do your thing.
Yeah. I don't mean to take. I've talked a lot here. I don't mean
Dude,
to
no,
talk about
talk all you want, man.
I
I got
know.
tons
I
of
know
time.
we're not the hey, let's talk about hurricanes and Scott's life podcast,
No, who
but
cares, dude?
it has been insane. I won't lie, it's been insane. Like
Like, what's the craziest part?
I think the craziest part, there's two things. One was just like the complete devastation, like this place that I kind of lived in for a couple of years of just like this lively beach town there's no one there. Like my sailboat
Really?
was the only thing that had electricity for like 2.5 weeks. And now I go out there and I've been, getting my boat systems back online and stuff because, and there's literally no one out there. It's so bizarre. I'm like, it's just devastation everywhere. And then there's my boat just hanging out. So,
Hanging out. Have you gone back? I mean, are you back? Have you gone back and seen the boat? Like, how
oh
recently?
yeah, I was working on it the other day.
Were you?
Yeah, it is. I have like a bunch of bullshit in there for my solar systems,
Yeah.
that are just parts that I bought years ago, just sitting in there. So, and I'm like, I don't have anything else to do. So I've just been trying to get it like SHTF ready,
Yeah.
in case in like 2 weeks. I'm like, okay,
You're just gonna have to sail it up the coast.
yeah, this was all practice.
Yeah.
The thing is, I'm pretty good down in Florida, but I'm like, okay, shit's probably gonna get real. It may. And the last thing I want to do is be sitting on all this gear in my boat that I could be like powering
Right.
stuff with a refrigerator or something if I need it. And I'm just like, oh, I got all the parts, but so anyway, I've been getting that project taken care of on my days off. Yeah. Try not to go crazy. I think so. The craziest part one is the complete and total devastation, and then the second craziest part is I don't want to say like I'm not doing well. I am doing well. I'm not like I don't want to make it seem like I'm partying it up because that's what for some reason people tend to think when I say like I think I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
Kind of like
Yeah.
thrive in the situation where shit's hitting the fan. I really do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm like, I haven't been able to make money in like 3 weeks. So, again, not saying anything there. I do have my shit back in place, but it's like everyone's kind of freaking out because they lost all their stuff. And I'm
Yeah,
kind of
it's
like,
a
it's
tough
just
place.
stuff. It's just stuff.
Yeah,
My
we talk
dad
about that.
and my dogs
You and me talk
lived.
about that a lot.
Yeah.
About how
I mean,
like, we've lived in cars, so
yeah.
it's like we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's tough.
If I'd lost my boat too, I probably would have cried. Because I'm like, it's so close. It's not pretty or anything, but it's like the Millennium Falcon.
I'll tell you what, that
But
picture
it's
is
so
so wild
cool.
of your boat like floating on the roof.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
insane.
one of the crazier things I've seen
Yeah,
in recent history.
yeah. Time magazine. Forget all the
Like, this
political
is-
candidates. Here's Scott's
just-
boat as it sits on a roof.
Just a boat on a roof.
Someone
Florida
said they
man
saw
has-
that picture on TikTok and it had like 100,000 reactions or something. Someone
Literally.
shared my
I bet.
TikTok picture.
I bet, dude.
I shared my picture on TikTok.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
that was
mean,
insane.
it's just like it's an outline of you looking sideways. It's like an outline of your head, and then in is like the boat on the roof, and it's like time. Pinellas
Yeah.
County wiped out. Sailboat lives. You could be like the next Lieutenant Dan